Ton läuft auch. Intro. Fitness. Fitness is not just about looking strong or being strong. Fitness is about feeling strong and feeling healthy. So, in this video, we're going to talk about flexibility and mobility, and I'm going to show you about the differences of the two. I'm going to show you something about the myth that a plank is only good for the back of your muscles. And we're going to work on a strong core and a strong back. My name is Andree. Welcome to welcome to fuck.
My name is Andree and this is Fit for 50 Plus.
You. My name is Andree Kielholz and this is Fit for 50 Plus.
Ja, gut.
Fit für 50 plus.
Ja.
Okay. Intro mobility. So there are a lot of people asking me about flexibility and mobility. And let me tell you one thing. Most people think it's one and the same, but they're simply not. This is why you can find a flexibility video and a mobility video. So in this video, I'm going to show you some mobility drills, how to open up your hips, how to work on the joints, and how to get more range in the range of motion of your joints. So again, like in the flexibility video, start slowly and be sure to keep a good and perfect form.
Ton läuft, Kamera läuft.
Flexibility, die erste. Hi, you know that? Sitting around all day at work or standing around all day at work and in the evenings feeling stiff, getting back pain, something like that. So part of your training always should be not just endurance, not just muscle power, it always should be flexibility. So in this video, we're talking about flexibility and I'll show you some easy to follow step-by-step exercises that you could do at home. So for the first exercise, just stand shoulder width. Stretch out your arms first. I'm going to show that from the side also. Stretch out your arms first and then bend over in your hips, not in your back. Stretch out as if you're reaching for something to the front. You should feel the weight on your toes a bit more and stretch to the front, reaching out to your own front. If we do that sideways, same here, bend over in your hip, not in your back. Stand straight, reach out to the front and bend forward. Lean a little bit forward and reach out. Hold the position for 10 to 30 seconds as long as you feel comfortable with it. So the next, from here, you try to reach a little bit lower. Again, keep your legs straight and be sure that your lower back is also straight. Don't buckle over. You can go lower, 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 and remember, this is not a competition. It's not important how far you can go. It's important to keep a good shape, to do a proper technique. Again, try to hold it for 10 to 30 seconds. From here, before you get up, bend your knees, bring your hips underneath your shoulders, and get up again. Never try to lift from the back. Always try to bring in the hip and get up straight. the same part of your leg and your lower back that is stretched with the next exercise. Put out one leg and put your shoulder in the front direction. Bring your hands to the knee. Again here, the lower back is totally straight. Try to bend over the hips. Going down a bit more. Remember, keep straight. It doesn't matter if you can touch your toes, do it, but keep the proper form. Reach out with one hand, and for the really flexible guys with you, try to bring the other shoulder more to the front and the other hand to the front also. Remember, back is straight. Do this exercise on both sides. It's always helpful if you look to the front. Because what happens to me all the time, if I look to the toes, I'm going like this. And this is what we really don't want. We want to work on the flexibility of the lower back and, of course, the legs. The next exercise is on the same parts of the muscle and the same parts of the leg and the lower back. Again, stand a little bit broader than shoulder width. Start with the first exercise, bending over, the knees are locked out, the lower back is straight. And now what you do is just hang in here. Just hang in here. Don't try to push to the ground, just hang in here. Straighten the back again, bringing in the knees, coming up again. From the side, bending in your hips, straight back. As far as you can go, there shouldn't be pain. It could be and it should be uncomfortable, but there shouldn't be pain. Straight to the front and then hanging in there. Don't try to push down. It's not, as I said before, it's not a competition. From hanging, come back straight, bending the knees. Getting up again. If you do this exercise, be sure that you don't bounce. Bouncing is a good technique, but you should be very flexible before you start with that technique. So at the beginning, just hold the position for 10 to 30 seconds and do like 5 to 10 repetitions of the same motion. Remember, you can always do that at home. You don't have to warm up to do it. So the next exercise is for the front of the body. So at first, we've stretched the lower back, the buttocks a bit, and of course the back side of the leg. Now we're concentrating on the front side. Try to stand on one leg. If you're not able to hold the balance, grab onto a chair or a table or a wall. Bring up the foot real tight to the buttocks and the knee is going back, right behind or at least on the same level of your standing leg. Bring in the hip and push it out. This is a position you should hold for at least 20 seconds. I'm going to show that from the side again with the other leg. Always remember you have to do both sides if we do a single leg exercise. Stand firm. One foot is raised. Bring the foot as close to your behind as possible. The knee should be on the same level, or even better if you're more flexible, behind the knee of the standing leg. Now push in your hip to the front. Open up the whole part on the front of the body. Flexibility Teil 2. Have you ever been to a fitness studio, to a gym? Did you get frustrated after 2 weeks because you didn't really build up big muscles? Yeah, you got to show some patience, because everything you want to achieve, if it's muscle building or more flexibility, you have to be patient. It won't be a great success overnight. It's a process in the making. So stretch, work on your flexibility as often as possible, and calm down, be patient. Success will show up not within 2 days. So the next exercise we're working on builds up on the exercises we've been doing in the standing positions. Stretching out one leg to the front, and the other leg depends on your flexibility that you have right now. If you're not that flexible, pull the leg in, so the foot is in front of you. It's the same exercise as if you do it this way. Pull the foot to your behind, but you have to be a little bit more flexible to do this position. Here it is the same exercise we did in the standing positions. So make sure that the whole back is to the front. Not just leaning over and touching the toes. Make sure the whole positioning is to your straight leg. Start with both hands on your knees, and again with a straight back. Imagine you could touch your toes with your chin. The way is not with your head to your knee, the way is with your chin towards your foot. So lean to the front. Remember the first exercise I showed you? Lean to the front. Hands are on the knee, bend in the hip, back is straight, lean to the front. From this position, if you can hold it for 10 to 20 seconds, then start to bring up your hand. And again, it's not important if you can touch the foot. It's important to keep a proper form. If you're able, reach out, try to touch your foot or your ankle and grab it. Now pull. This is very important. Don't pull down. You don't want to bring your head to the knee. You want to bring your chin to your toe, so you have to pull forward. The hand stays on the knee, so that brings the other shoulder to the front, and pull forward. Look to the front, so your back will be straight again. If you have reached the end of your position, relax in that position. Keep breathing deep in and out. Relax and try to hold this position as long as possible, at least for 30 to 60 seconds. So relax, don't hold your breath, so you cannot make it for 60 seconds with holding your breath. Just relax, breathe in, deep, in and out. When you're coming up again, do it slowly. As always, when you're working on your flexibility, it's a very, very easy and a very slow pace you're working. The next exercise we're doing is building up on this one also. So you're putting in the foot to the front at first. And now, instead of leaning towards the straight leg, you're positioning your whole body to the bended knee. Everything is straight, and now the same rule. You don't want to touch with the knee with your forehead. You just want to bring your chin to the front. Whole body is straight, lean forward. Make sure that you're not lifting the leg on the other side. Hold the position, keep a proper form. Lean to the front. If you can relax in this position, bring the arms to the front. Try to touch the floor with your elbows. Again, if you have reached this position, relax. Deep breathe and try to hold the position for 30 to 60 seconds.
Jetzt muss ich das gerade mal noch verschwinden lassen. Zipp. Ist der Winkel gut, oder? Ja?
So the last exercise again. Bin ich zu hoch?
Ja.
Ja? Warte, dann bleibe ich unten.
Du kannst, wenn du willst, kommt drauf an, wenn du nach oben gehst, dann...
Ne, ich muss nur eigentlich noch weiter runter.
Okay, weil so ist perfekt. Wenn du noch weiter hoch müsste ich...
Okay, warte, dann machen wir es ganz anders. So, ist gut.
Ja.
So the last exercise again is concentrating on the front of the body. Bring up one leg, put it down on the floor, and the other leg will go back. Make sure that you don't do it this way. Do it on a flat position, because otherwise you have too much power on the knee, too much pressure on the knee. Now, one hand on the ground, the other hand up, and now you start to push your hip down to the front. Not just front, down to the front. You're pushing this way. At the same time, bringing up the shoulders and arching your back a little bit, and push hip and the rib cage down to the front. If you're really flexible, you can start it by lifting up your foot a little bit. Remember, it's not a competition. It's not that you're trying to bring up the foot as high as possible. It's important to get into the position, and then if you're still able to do it, lift the front and bring it to your buttocks. For the pros within you, if you did the first position and it works well, if you do the second position and it works well, try to grab the foot and pull it to your behind. Still keeping in mind, the most important thing is to push in your hip and bringing up your shoulders to the front. Again, try to hold the position for at least 30 seconds. Breathing in and out, relax doing that, and never forget to work it on both sides. Mobility, Teil 1. So there's a very important part in your workout that shouldn't be neglected. Maybe you've seen the flexibility part, and this is very important because in the flexibility we're talking about the soft tissue, to stretch the soft tissue. But a big part of the ability to move freely is mobility. So, and if we're talking about mobility, it's a lot about the ability. If we're talking about the mobility in the lower part of the body, it has a lot to do with the ability of your hips. So in this video, we're trying to work on the range of the mobility in your hips. The first exercise I'll show is what I call the frog. And if you see it, you know why it's named that way. So you're coming up, bringing out the knees as far as possible. Very important, as far as possible. Now, putting out the legs, make sure that the knee and your foot are in one line. Don't keep them inside here. Foot and knee are in one line. Now the first thing we do is bringing up your shoulders and pushing the hips down to the front. Imagine like a cat in the morning that is stretching when it's getting up after sleep. Same motion here, shoulders up and the hips down to the front. If you feel you cannot do that, you might start on your elbows. So this range is a little bit smaller, but it's the same exercise. Shoulders up, hips down to the front. From here, getting up to the front and pushing back again. Push your buttocks into the direction of your feet and start to roll in again. Nice and easy, nice and slow. From here, you turn over to your left side onto your leg. Don't stay just on the knee. Turn over and get onto the front side of your leg. And again, shoulders up and the hips in this particular part here, it's the right hip pushing into the ground to the front. Shoulders up and back again. You can switch that and do it on both sides, alternating. You don't have to hold the position for too long like in the flexibility video. Just make sure that you push down slowly until the end of your possible range. If you have done that 5 to 10 times on each side, stay in the position, bring your feet together, coming up, and again, push the hips to the front and open up. Very important with all the flexibility and mobility drills. If you're trying to get out of this yoga-like position, take your time. Don't hurry. Just make sure that you get out of the position slowly. Give your hips, give your knees a little bit of time to readjust to this position. The next exercise is for the outside movement again. We're putting our foot onto the top of the other leg. Make sure that the shin bone is parallel to your body. Now, make sure that this leg and the right part of your behind stays on the ground. Don't do it this way. Don't lift up your buttocks. Now, sit straight, relax, hold on to the ankle and push down your knee slowly. It's not important if you can touch the floor. Just keep proper form and relax. I can see a lot of people doing this exercise this way, but we just want to work on the mobility, so push down slowly, and if you feel, oh, I cannot go any further, stay there. So the end of the motion is not where you should stop and retract. Stay there, relax, breathe. This is a position you could easily hold for 1 to 2 minutes if you like to. Remember, we're doing the exercise on both sides. The next exercise is a combination of inside and outside rotation for the hip. So lift up your behind a little bit and rotate to one side. Try to touch the floor with both knees. Do it on one side, do it on the other side. Left to right, right to left. And this is not a position you have to hold for a long time. You can do that very dynamically, turning from one side to the other. But just don't hesitate. Take your time, but keep on moving. The last exercise I'm going to show you is what is called a rib pull. Lay onto your side. Make sure to straighten out the lower leg. The other leg is brought up to the front. Grab the knee and your ribs. And this is where the name comes from, the rib pull. Take a hold to your own ribs. Breathe in. And while you're breathing out, you're bringing down the knee and at the same time pulling back the ribs to the back. Breathe in, pulling down, pulling back. Hold the position for the length of one breath. So it's in, out, in, out. It's a very easy exercise. Don't overdo it. And if you hear this little when you do it, don't be afraid. It's not that you break anything. It's just that the discs in your spine are starting to move again. Sometimes they're a little bit stuck, so the sound is like this. So that's all what happens in your back. Make sure that you, if you feel pain with that, might contact the doctor to get a little check of your spine. Do these exercises as often as possible, and remember, you don't really have to warm up to do it if you do them slow but steady. Enjoy. Intro Rücken. So we all have back problems. It's not that you're getting old, it's not that you're not healthy anymore, it's just that the back has a lot of load to carry. So we all should work on the muscles of our back to make sure that we're fit and we can work throughout the day and not coming home in the evening in pain. So hang on with me, I'm going to show you some easy exercises for your back. Keep a good form and watch it closely. Rücken 1. Rücken 1. So in this part we're going to have some really nice and easy exercises for our back, especially for the lower back, because the lower back is where we're all having trouble at. And again, it's not about your age, it's not about that you're not healthy, it is that the lower back has to carry all the weight, all the stuff you're carrying around and you're lifting around whole day, and also is a big part while you're standing, while you're sitting, while you're working. I'm going to show just a few of the exercises because the lower back is always in the other exercises. So if you're working on your flexibility, on your mobility, on the core, if you're looking at the core video, you're going to work on the lower back also with that. So the first exercise we're doing is just laying flat onto the stomach and stretching out arms and legs. We're starting with the arms and try to lift up the arms. Don't try to lift up the whole body. At first, just lifting up the arms. From here, you go getting up. People tell me it's looking like a Superman flying motion. Just lay flat, raise the arms, coming up with the upper part of the back. Don't rush, don't do it with motions like that. Nice and easy, controlled up and controlled down. The same thing we're doing with our legs. Get down, lay flat, straighten the legs, and then at first try to lift the legs a little bit and then squeeze your buttocks and concentrate on the muscles in the lower back now. Lift up and down. It's not that you're going up for 30 or 50 centimeters. It's a small and very controlled movement. Especially on your way down, it should be very controlled. Not high up and then letting them fall. Up and down. Up and down. So in a lot of videos I can see this motion done at the same time. So you're lifting your arms and your legs at the same time. You can do this if you have a strong and flexible lower back. If you're not sure if you have that, don't try to find it out with that exercise, because you might end up with more back pain than you ever had before. It's a good thing to start just with the upper body and then to start with the lower body. The last exercise, again, you're lying on your chest, on your stomach. Put down the forehead and put your hands to your sides. The first thing you do is push your palms into the floor, just like you want to bring them to the front and give a little applause. Push them into the floor. So this is not the back muscle that is working now, it's more the chest muscle. But we want to get a feeling for which muscle is working now. Push, and now with the same intensity you're pushing to the front. Pull back as if you're lifting something heavy from the ground. Go as far as you can go without rotating the arms, and go down again. Controlled, push and pull. Something heavy is lifted from the ground, so pull it to the back. And now, if you're going down, start to push here. Push down, touch the ground, and pull back again. Concentrate on the muscles of the upper back. You can do a lot of repetitions of that. So usually I recommend 5 to 12, but for this exercise you can go as high as 20 reps if you want to. So now we've worked on the muscle, and there was a lot of concentrating and a lot of you just pulled the muscle together to build them up, to make them strong. If you're working on your back, you should do the other side of the strengthening also. So this is an exercise where we just stretch the back a little bit, and it's real good exercise if you've been driving a car for hours and getting some back pain, or sitting in the office at your desk and getting some low back pain. Just sit down on the floor, try to do this exercise. Put your feet on the ground, bringing the knees together so your hands are able to touch and holding on to each other. Now, a round back, round it out like a turtle, pull it out. At the same time, bringing in the arms so the knees are getting together, and pull to the front with your arms, and at the same time push out the back in the opposite direction. Together, pull to the front with your arms and to the opposite direction with your back. Should be well round, should be like a turtle back coming up. Straighten, bring in the arms, pulling to the front, putting the back in the opposite direction. This is a really relaxing exercise, and you can do that whenever you want or whenever you feel that there's tension building up in your lower back. Try that and keep on working at it. Nacken. So the muscles in your neck are not really exactly part of your back, but they're producing the same problems, pain. So sitting a lot, standing a lot, lifting heavy weights might produce back pain, and at the same time, pain in the neck. And pain in the neck almost always means headache. So, in this video, we're working on the muscle of the neck. And it's quite easy to do it because it is not a muscle that is producing a big range. But first things first, you have to understand that your neck can do this and do that. And a combination of it. So, it might be something like down and to the side, or back and to the side. But it's not a joint like your shoulder that will produce a circular motion. So if you want to warm up your neck, don't do things like rolling your head full circle. The neck is able to do it, but it's not the best way to do it. If you want to do a light and easy warm-up for your neck because you're living in neck pain, pull it down to your chest, bring it back and pull it to your back. And the same thing in a neutral position, go over here, then go over there. Maybe you want to just push a little bit further, just a little bit. Don't rush, nice and easy pushes, and you really don't want to break your own neck, don't you? So for the muscle, it is important to get some resistance, and you don't need equipment to do it, but I brought a little belt. You can also do it with a towel or a belt or a scarf or whatever. You can also do it with your hands, but I think it's more comfortable with a little tool. At first, put your hand onto your forehead and now push as if you're trying to do this motion. Push into your hand like you want to say yes. The same you can do on the back side. You can do it with one hand or both hands, holding on the back of your head and trying to lean back the head into your backside. Now to the back. Always give it a little bit. Don't hold it just stiff, always give it a little bit, but push. The same thing to the side, but now you try to bring your ear to your shoulder. Hold and push. On both sides always, hold and push. And also grab over, hold and pull. Looks like the same exercise, but when you do it, you can feel the difference. So as I said before, you can do it with a belt or a scarf or something like that. Just putting it around your head so you can put it back here and pull with both hands. It's more comfortable to do this exercise. You can do this in every direction, to the front, to the back, and to the sides. Do it slowly and don't overdo it. It's like 5 times to the front, 5 times to the back, and 5 times to each side, because you will have a real sore neck muscle the next day, and if you overdo it, you're not able to turn the head anymore. Start slowly, build up, build up, build up. Intro core. If you open up the newspaper today or some health magazines, the word you hear again and again and again is core. And I tell you something, it's good that way, because your core is the most important part of the muscle body that you have. To have a healthy core means you probably have a healthy back and healthy hips, and so you're standing straight and be able to work hard, to work out hard, and be pain-free, which is a very important thing in life. So in this video, I'm going to introduce you to some easy to follow core muscle training. Don't overdo it. Start step by step and follow me through it. Have fun. Ton läuft, Kamera läuft, Klappe. Core, Teil 1. You have a lot of possibilities to work on your core muscle. Remember, the core is the link between the upper and the lower body. So whatever you do, whatever you practice in your workout, keep that in mind. One of my favorite techniques to work on the core is the so-called plank. There are a lot of variations of the plank, and you might have seen them in various of my videos, but here I'm going to show you some of the basics again. If you go into the first position of the plank, the elbows are touching the ground and the feet are touching the ground. Make sure that you're not on your knees. And as a beginner, you can do that. But if you do it, make sure that you still tilt your pelvis to the front so that you still have a straight line in the back. If you're a little bit more advanced, try to get up only on the feet, not on the knees. And again, tilting the pelvis to be sure that the lower back is straight. Try to hold this position and try to breathe all the time in a normal way. Just relax, breathe in, breathe out. Even if it's getting harder and harder, try to keep a relaxed breathing. From here, to make it even harder for the core muscles, lift one arm to the side. If you can do that easily, start to swing a bit up and down. Not from the hand or from the elbow, but from the shoulder, so make sure the vibration is going into the whole body, so the whole body structure has to do a lot of more work to hold the position. Small flying motion. Be sure to do it on both sides. You can do the same thing by lifting up one leg, holding the position, and again, don't hang in the middle. Be sure to get a straight lower back. Once again, on both sides. If you're already very fit and very strong, you can do both exercises at the same time. So lifting up one arm, one leg, tilting the pelvis, and concentrate on your ab muscles. Tighten your ab muscles so that you have a strong and stable position. As in the exercises before, do it on both sides. From here, you can do another variation of the plank, which is strong on the core, but also involves your tricep muscles on the arms. So pull to the front and bring it up to the back. Down on the elbows again, pull to the front, bring it up. With this exercise, you can spice up your workout a little bit. So if you're tired of only holding the plank, you can do just 3 to 5 of these and then go back into the plank position. What I hear a lot of times is the plank is only good for the backside. No, it isn't. It's a total core workout. So if you're doing the exercises, concentrate on the abs. Flex them to keep the lower back straight and also to make it a good core workout. A typical workout for the core is what most people think it's just an ab workout, but it's a core workout also. So lay flat on your back and make sure that you push the lower back into the ground. Don't arch your back too much. So if you can put a hand in between the floor and your lower back, you're doing it wrong. Put it down, push it down into the ground. Now, we're working on the core and on the ab muscles, but make sure you don't want to do a sit-up. You really want to do a crunch. So you're bringing the shoulders to the hips, and you got this picture in your mind. Imagine that you could bring your hips also to your shoulders. So roll it in. Roll the shoulders into the direction of the hips and the hips into the direction of the shoulders. Come up and start to bump away. You can do this 10 times, getting back, and do another set of 10. If you're really strong, you can do 3 to 5 sets of these. Don't really rest in between. Just get down with the shoulders, get up again, and do another set. If you can do 5 of them, try this.
Läuft. Und Rohmaterial.
Ton rollt. Core Teil 2. A lot of people tell me that they don't have the time to work out. And I can absolutely understand it, but remember, you don't have the time to work out, you have to take the time for a workout. But if you really don't have time to work out, there's a real good core exercise that you can do everywhere you are as soon as you're standing. Probably you're driving in a bus to your work in the morning, you can do this exercise. Stand about shoulder width and make sure that your toes a little bit turned in. Relax in the knees and then start to lift up your pelvis. Just, it's a motion like that. I'm going to show it from the side for a better look. So lift up the pelvis. And if you do it, you're breathing out. At the same time, you're squeezing your buttocks. So make sure that it's really hard on your behind. If you breathe in, let the pelvis drop back into its natural position. Make sure the knees are all the time bent, and breathe in and breathe out. Squeeze the buttocks and the abdominal muscles at the same time. Breathing out is flexion, breathing in is relaxation. I'm going to show this one from the side view. Coming up with the pelvis, relaxed in the knees, toes a little bit pointed in, and breathing out is pressure on there, buttocks, abdominal muscles have to be tight, and if you breathe in again, relax. This exercise will use all the muscles that you need around the core. It's the buttocks, it's the lower and the upper abdominal muscle, and it's the lower back at the same time. So as you could see, you can do it everywhere. But if you want to do it at home, make sure that you use a little bit of a pressure breathing. So like you're blowing out a candle or something like that. You're going more with the strong breath when you're breathing outside, and a natural, relaxed breath when you breathe in. As I said before, you can do that wherever you want to do, and you could use it also if you're starting to get tired, to get the blood circulating and to get a little bit more of the power back inside brain and the body. And remember, as always, try this at home. Outro. Okay guys, thank you very much for sparing your time, for staying with me throughout all the workout. Just remember, being fit is a process in the making. You cannot see an overnight success, so just stay with me, work a lot, stay strong, and keep going at it. And as always, remember, please try this at home.
Ja, das ist cool.